Hi, I'm reasonably new to D&D, been playing for a couple of years now, but if you're anything like me, you might have looked at the character sheets and thought, surely we can do better than a pen and paper, and gone online and looked at things like editable PDFs and those sorts of things. I took a little bit of time out of my day to try and come up with something that I could use on a tablet or on my phone so that I could just have that information to hand really easily. And you can see an example of what I've come up with, and I'm just going to run through how I got here. So first of all, I did get an editable PDF character sheet and connected it to this prompt where I'm basically asking Copilot, in my case, you can go in and use any of your other tools, how I can make an app that I can run low profile. So I don't want to fully develop an app. I don't want to have a backend database or anything like that. I basically want to just be able to run it on my tablet or browser with no installation required. And you'll see that when I've done that prompt, it's gone through, and because I almost always start my prompts with improve it as you execute, it's gone and done that and put it in a format that's better for a large language model to understand. Put a whole lot of details in there of what it's found from the original PDF that I've uploaded, and has outlined the deliverables of what it's going to do. And with that in mind, what I have got in here is a few back and forths based on some questions it's answered. And as we scroll all the way down here, you'll see I get a little bit further down. It has delivered me an HTML app. And the way I've used that is I can copy that. I can basically go into Notepad. And this is the instance that I've got here. Just got a blank document in Notepad. I've loaded, you know what? I'll just do a new one here. I basically just pasted the information in, and when I've gone to save it, I'll save it as, and not as a text document, but you'll see here, just name it with whatever I want to name the app, and then .html. And when you save that, you'll see saving it as HTML will look at what my default browser is. In this case, I run an Edge, and that will save it there for me to be able to open. So let's go see what happened. So if we come into here, this is the folder that I'm looking at. We double click that. This is the same instance as the one I was showing you when the video started. So what we've got is a couple of things going on, mostly editable fields, keyboard, mouse capabilities that work on phone or tablet and desktop, but anywhere where we've got a fixed set of criteria, I have turned it into an option set. So you'll see here you can go and collect from any of these sort of generic lists that are part of the Dungeons and Dragons experience. We also have the ability to go in and create the new character. This is where you give it the name, you create it. You can upload information from other places if you've got that export in the right format. But the good thing about that is because we've got multiple characters here, you can actually manage your whole party inside this app. We've also got the ability to print that to a PDF, clear it, and something that the system built that I didn't specifically ask for was the role functionality, which when you click that, it'll show you essentially what your current high skills that are important to you are. So you'll see in here we also have a couple of interesting things going on that have been generated because of the rule set. Jack of all trades gives you a half proficiency on non-proficient skills. So if we go into the skills, you'll see in here we have a whole lot of other details going on. So we can come in and capture all of the main abilities that we have. And as you go through, you'll see it will do some automated calculating of what happens when you're at those levels. And if we go into saving throws, you'll see in here, if you're proficient in these things, it will go and add additional information. And if we come in here, and for example, we've got our athletics at that higher level, and we've got the experience and proficiency, it will put the multipliers in there, or basically the additions, not multipliers. So there is a whole lot of underlying rule set in here. I have a set of documents. If you go and look in the description in this article, in this video, it will actually show you how that's all calculated. But you'll see that's great because you don't have to manage all of those numbers yourself. And as you can see in here, you can capture things like your languages and your other proficiencies. This is an expandable text area, so you can keep quite a lot of information in there. The rest of it's really just more of the same. There is some different navigation capabilities here, so keeping your hit points, what's your max and current, your dice you've got to use, another drop down here. But what we can do here is when we're looking at spell slots, you've got attacks and spell casting. So you'll see here if you add an attack, it will open up 3 new areas for you to capture that information, and you can add multiple as required based on your character development. Same things happens down here with cantrips. And we've got if they're prepared, ritual, all those sorts of details, their name and notes. And then when we get down to the spell levels, we have those same capabilities as well. So the ability to keep your character updated as you go through the development of your story. In here, the equipment, once again, an open text field that can expand. We've got your treasures that you've captured along the way and any notes. Stories and allies. When you're adding an ally, you'll see you've got name, symbol, which you put in there. It doesn't actually have any symbols, so sorry if I'm too much of a noob when saying this, but I don't actually know what symbols are in the game, and description. And then as we come through here, we've got notes. You can export it, and that's what I was saying before, you can import as well. So you can export it with your information, you can do your printout. If you've basically got that information and somebody else goes and saves this on their device or anything like that, you can then give it to them to import. So you could essentially go through and start a new campaign and bring in previous character development that you've done inside this app. So pre-game preparation. Finally, in the admin settings, I did a couple of things in here, so I'm just going to reset it. You'll see by default it's in this white scenario. I also put in dark mode and then asked the system to generate just a number of other interesting ones, and I find that there's very little difference between these two, minimal mono and this last one. In here, compact mode, if you're using it on the phone, can just tighten it up. Larger text for anyone who, like myself, has terrible eyes, and these shadows can be toggled on and off on the cards. So essentially this is my Dungeons & Dragons character manager for multiple characters with auto calculations in there. The main thing about this is I did want to make this available to everyone, so if you go and look into the description, hopefully I'll be able to upload this as something you can download yourself. But what I'm also going to put in there is a couple of things. There's the quick start guide, there is the full manual, and there's the developer architecture overview. So if you want to go through and use that to further develop this yourself, there's basically the base information that you would need there. So hopefully for anyone who's playing D&D, you might find this interesting. What I will do is just minimize this. Let's put this over here. So if we minimize this down to, you'll see we can put this in a side panel over here, but we can show essentially what will happen. This has got a reactive design, so based on the size of your mobile screen, you'll see it will adjust to work for that environment as well. So hopefully that's an experience that might be helpful to some of you. and give you the ability to move away from pencil and paper, and just allow you to have quick access to get up and running with a game. And unlike ourselves, every time we go to pull out our character sheets, we maybe haven't captured all the information. We've had to reprint it and it hasn't got what we've updated with last time. So hopefully that helps your experience. And yeah, once again, if you've got any guidance or anything like that you want to give me, please let me know. I would love to see this being used by people. Thanks very much.